pulse of static cracked the silence, sharp and alien, filling the room with a hiss that made every hair stand on end. Monitors flickered. Radios bled incoherent sounds. Then, from nowhere and everywhere at once, a voice pierced the noise. "They're already here," it said, flat, mechanical, undeniable. For a moment, the earth forgot to breathe. Then, everything unraveled. Sirens wailed in distant streets. Phones went dead. Satellites crashed. An encrypted message pulsed through every frequency, unintelligible at first, but growing clearer. Not a cry for help. A warning. A declaration. The transmission was not a greeting. It was a presence. Anna gripped the edge of the desk, her knuckles white, her body trembling. This was no hoax. No simulation. The static settled into rhythm. The message became clear. "Why? We've been waiting for you." The walls of human certainty collapsed in that instant. The world had not just been watched, it had been expected. The streets were different now. They buzzed with confusion and fear, as if everyone felt something had shifted, something primal. Anna stepped outside and felt the tension in the air like a wire drawn too tight. Her neighbors whispered in huddles, glancing upward as if expecting something to fall from the sky. The transmission still played in fragments, from car radios and broken phones. "We've been waiting for you." She kept hearing it, always in the same monotone, always echoing in her mind. Her fingers trembled as she checked her phone. Dead. Emergency broadcasts were playing across digital billboards, but none offered comfort. The world was trying to respond, but it was already too late. Something had arrived, and no one knew what it wanted. Anna wasn't a soldier. She wasn't even brave. But something inside her whispered, this wasn't random. This had something to do with her. Anna made her way toward the edge of the city, hoping for quiet, hoping the madness hadn't spread. But silence only made it worse. The forest beyond the city was dense, dark, familiar. She had grown up near these woods. As she stepped into the trees, she felt a pulse, low and deep, vibrating in her bones. It was not a sound, but a presence. She froze. Something watched her. No birds, no wind, just the hum of something alien. Then, high in the sky, a shimmer like heat on asphalt rippled the air. It vanished in a blink. But she knew. This wasn't Earth reacting to something. This was Earth hiding something. The feeling didn't fade as she walked deeper. It clung to her, thick as fog. Whatever had arrived, it was close. And it wasn't done. In a quiet government building buried beneath layers of concrete and secrecy, the officials weren't shocked. They had been waiting too. A room filled with polished suits and glassy eyes stared at a single screen. The same message, replayed over and over. "We've been waiting for you." One man leaned forward, whispering to no one, "It's happening early." Another stood in silence, eyes heavy with guilt. Files were pulled, codes unlocked, protocols activated. For decades, humanity had lived under the illusion of control. But the illusion was crumbling, and the architects of that illusion knew their time was running out. Outside, humanity looked for answers. Inside, the ones with answers prepared for chaos. It wasn't the aliens that terrified them. It was what humanity would do once it knew the truth. Anna sat in her childhood room, untouched since her mother's death, now a place of ghosts and silence. Old posters on the wall, dust on the shelves, and the faint smell of lavender. She picked up an old recorder her mom used to use, still working. She hit play. The voice that came out wasn't her mother's. It was synthetic, warped, but unmistakably the same words. "We've been waiting for you." Anna dropped it. Her breath caught in her throat. The message had been here, in her house, before the world even heard it. Why? Her chest tightened. Memories flooded her. Strange dreams, half-forgotten whispers. Could her mother have known? Was this legacy hers? A nightmare unfolded, and she was at the center of it. Anna couldn't shake the memory of her mother's voice, or what sounded like it, delivering the alien message. She wandered through the attic of the old house, dust motes spinning in shafts of daylight. Boxes of forgotten pasts lined the space. Her mother had been a schoolteacher, a gardener. Ordinary. But beneath an old quilt, Anna uncovered something she didn't expect, a locked steel case with her mother's name etched into the metal. Her breath caught. The latch gave way with a click. Inside were documents, some marked classified, photographs of unfamiliar constellations, sketches of symbols she had seen only in the alien transmission. At the bottom a faded note, "Protect her. She must never know." Anna's hands trembled. What did her mother know? And how is she supposed to protect something she didn't understand? Nothing about her life was ordinary anymore. And maybe it never had been. As night fell, Anna drove through empty highways toward a name mentioned in the files. Dr. Elias Wren, a physicist long thought dead. The location was a small, isolated observatory, buried deep in the mountains. The drive felt endless, silence broken only by her breath and the low hum of tires on broken asphalt. When she arrived, the facility was dark, abandoned, or so it seemed. The gate was rusted shut. Vines choked the sign. Yet, from a window above, a single light flickered. Anna's pulse quickened. She crept inside, her flashlight beams sweeping across broken glass, old charts, maps of the stars. Then a voice behind her. "You shouldn't be here." She turned sharply. An older man stepped into the light. It was Elias, aged, hollow-eyed, and afraid. "It's begun, hasn't it?" he said. "They'll be watching you now, just like they watched me." Inside the observatory, Elias spoke in fragments, as if every word carried weight. The transmission, it's not new, it's ancient, repeating like a memory embedded in the stars. He showed Anna a chart, interstellar coordinates synchronized with deep space pulses. "Your mother was one of us," he said. "Not a scientist, but a contact, a receiver." Anna reeled. Bind. Her mother had known, had been involved. Elias continued, "There's a pattern in the signal, a countdown. Something's coming, or something is awakening." Anna stared at the glowing lines on the monitor. They pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. "Why me?" she whispered. Elias said nothing, just placed a hand on her shoulder, his voice barely audible. "Because it's always been you." And in that moment she felt it, something within her resonate like a tuning fork struck by a cosmic hand. Anna returned home, but it no longer felt like home. As she crossed the threshold, the house groaned like it resented her return. She sat by the window, clutching her mother's note, watching shadows move across the lawn. Something was out there. She could feel it. The sky above was too quiet. No stars. Just a thick blackness, as if the night itself had turned away. Her thoughts spiraled. Her mother. Elias. The countdown. And a voice. Always that voice. "We've been waiting for you." She whispered the words aloud, and as if answering, the lights flickered. Her reflection stared back from the glass, but it wasn't just her face. Something shimmered behind it, like another presence watching from the other side. She turned quickly. Nothing. But the feeling lingered. Whatever this was, it wasn't coming. It was already here. That night, Anna dreamed of voices, not words, but memories that weren't hers. A planet burning, a ship escaping, faces that looked like hers, but older, worn, alien. She awoke gasping, soaked in sweat. Her hands ached. When she opened her palms, faint glowing lines traced her skin, matching the symbols from her mother's documents. She blinked, and they were gone. Panic set in. Was she hallucinating? Or changing? Her phone buzzed. No signal, just a single new message blinking. "You are not who you think you are." She dropped it. Ran to the mirror. Her eyes looked the same, but deeper. She wasn't just part of this anymore. She was being transformed by it. Whatever her mother had tried to protect her from was now inside her. The fracture wasn't just in the world. It was in her. Anna returned to the observatory, desperate for answers. Elias greeted her with a quiet solemnity, his face drawn, his movements slower. "There's something I didn't tell you," he said. "They've been here longer than we know. Hiding, adapting, watching us evolve." He handed her a device, a small silver cylinder humming faintly in her grip. "It reacts to you," he said. "No one else." As she held it, the surface shifted, blooming like a living mechanism. Her fingerprints seemed to awaken it. Elias watched with a mix of fear and reverence. Your bloodline, your mother, her mother, something was embedded generations ago. The aliens didn't choose Earth by accident. They were following a signal. Your family was the beacon. Anna recoiled. Her identity was being rewritten. Not just human. Not just Earthborn. Something more. Something planned. The more Anna learned, the more unstable her world became. She couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. The device pulsed beside her like a heartbeat. Symbols flashed across her dreams now, patterns, memories that weren't hers. Then the call came. Her best friend Lila, crying. "They're here, Anna. They're here." The line cut. Anna drove like a demon, tires screaming across wet pavement. She arrived at Lila's apartment, door ajar, lights flickering. Inside, chaos. Broken furniture. Symbols etched into the walls. But no sign of Lila. Only her phone, screen cracked, with a message that mirrored Anna's dreams. "You must remember who you are." Anna staggered back, panic rising. Someone, or something, was trying to speak through people she loved. But why? And what were they trying to awaken inside her? Anna fled the city. The sky was wrong, stars rearranged in unfamiliar constellations. She reached a hidden sanctuary Elias had told her about, an abandoned Cold War listening post deep in the forest. Inside, a single screen glowed with data pulled from old satellite feeds. Elias was already there, surrounded by paper maps and wires. "They've activated," he said. "The sleeper agents. Embedded decades ago. They're waking up now." Anna felt her blood go cold. "How many?" she asked. Elias didn't answer. Instead, he turned the screen to her, rows of surveillance photos, including one face she knew well. Daniel. Her partner. Her anchor. Her past. Died. She staggered. Elias whispered, "He's one of them." 1,000 memories collapsed inside her. Love. Trust. True. All of it, contaminated by a truth she never saw coming. Anna confronted Daniel that night. They met on the rooftop where they first kissed, under a sky filled with storm clouds. He was already there, waiting. "I hoped you wouldn't find out," he said softly. "But you always had the fire in you." Anna's voice cracked. "What are you?" Daniel looked up. "A watcher. A protector. We were placed here to guide the convergence." She backed away. "You lied to me." His voice broke. "I loved you. That part was real." Then his skin shimmered, just for a moment, like light refracted through glass. The alien truth beneath the human facade. "You were never supposed to awaken this early," he whispered. "But now, we don't have a choice." Anna's heart broke. The betrayal was complete. And the war had just turned personal. Anna didn't sleep that night. She stood alone on a cliff edge, overlooking the city. Everything she knew, everyone she trusted, had become shadows. The device in her hand pulsed faster now, resonating with something buried deep in the earth. Elias's words returned. "There's a larger war coming. The aliens are not invaders. They're retaliating." "Against what?" Anna closed her eyes and felt it. A deep, ancient guilt woven into the planet's energy. Her lineage wasn't just a beacon. It was a weapon, or a key. The alien forces weren't waking up to destroy. They were waking up to remember. And now, so was she. The fracture was complete. Anna was no longer just Anna. She was the answer to a question the Earth had tried to forget. Anna returned to Elias one final time. His lab was empty now, files burned, screens smashed. He had fled. But he'd left behind something sealed in a lead-lined drawer. Inside was a memory drive, marked only with the phrase, Project Origin. Anna connected it to an old laptop. The screen lit up with footage, decades old. Scientists speaking in hushed tones. A young woman that looked like Anna's mother, only in military uniform. The convergence must remain secret, she said in the video. The child must never know. Another clip played. Alien artifacts being buried in remote locations. Codes. Coordinates. Then a message from a government official. The alliance ends when control is compromised. Erase them if necessary. Anna's breath caught. They hadn't just known. They had helped orchestrate the alien plan until they turned against it. Humanity had betrayed the stars first. Anna followed the coordinates from the footage deep into a desert wasteland where wind howled like distant voices. There, half buried beneath stone and sand, she uncovered a metallic hatch engraved with the same symbols that had burned into her skin. It opened at her touch. The chamber below pulsed with faint blue light. Inside, floating mid-air, was a sphere, not technology, but memory. As she approached, it activated. Visions surged through her mind, distant stars, alien cities, battles across lifetimes. Then her mother's voice, clearer than ever. If you're hearing this, they lied to you. About everything. Anna dropped to her knees. The truth wasn't just hidden, it had been weaponized. Her entire bloodline had been engineered to hold the memory of a civilization destroyed by human fear. And she was the key to unlocking it all. As night fell, Anna drove back to the city, mind reeling. The airwaves buzzed with static. Emergency broadcasts flickered, warning of unexplained disruptions, blackout zones, missing people. She knew it wasn't a coincidence. The sleepers were awakening everywhere, and the government was erasing them, silently, brutally. At a checkpoint outside the city, soldiers stopped her. Too calm, too polite. One scanned her eyes. Anna Marin, he said. Not a question. Statement. You'll come with us now. Her pulse surged. She reached for the device. It vibrated once, then released a blinding pulse. The soldiers collapsed, stunned. The air shimmered. Her form blurred, just for a second. When she looked down, her skin still glowed faintly. You're changing, Elias had said. But it was more than that. She was evolving, and the world was trying to kill her before she finished. In an underground resistance hub, Anna found others, people like her. Some had marks on their skin. Others heard voices in dreams. All of them hunted. All of them awakened. The leader, a woman named Kale, spoke without fear. We are not the invasion. We are the memory. They made us forget. Maps lined the walls. Patterns emerged, lines of awakening converging on a single point, the well. The first site of contact. The place where everything had begun, and where it would likely end. Kale handed Anna a shard of crystalline metal. It responds to your DNA. You're not just connected to this, you are the lock, and the door. Anna held it, and it lit like fire. Every question burned inside her. Every answer waited at the well. The final convergence was coming. Anna stood atop a mountain ridge, overlooking the coordinates they called the well. A massive crater, ringed by obsidian stones, pulsed faintly beneath the surface. The sky churned above, storm clouds that didn't belong to weather. Around her, the resistance gathered. They didn't look like soldiers. They looked like survivors. But they carried something stronger than weapons, truth. From the distance, engines roared. The government forces were coming. And the aliens, they were already waiting, above, beyond, and possibly within. Anna closed her eyes. Her mother, Elias, Daniel, died. Every betrayal, every vision, it all led here. This was the convergence point. The place the Earth had tried to bury, and the stars refused to forget. This is it, Cale said beside her. Anna nodded. Whatever she did next would decide more than survival. It would decide what future, if any, humanity was allowed to have. As Anna and the others descended into the well, the ground trembled with a resonance not born of nature. The walls of the crater were alive, etched in symbols that shifted like breath on stone. At the center, a massive core structure pulsed beneath the earth, sealed in obsidian. The shard Anna held began to hum, its glow synchronizing with the frequency of the pulse. Cale touched her shoulder. It's responding to you. Anna stepped forward, and the earth split open with a low roar. The obsidian cracked. Light burst from the core, revealing alien machinery unlike anything on Earth. Ancient, organic, sentient. The convergence had begun. This was no invasion. This was activation. The ancestors of another world had left their last memory here, and Anna was the key to awaken it, or destroy it. She hesitated. Every instinct screamed to run. But this was the moment written in her blood. Above, the military arrived. Dropships descended, kicking up clouds of ash and wind. Floodlights pierced the night. A voice boomed through loudspeakers. You are in violation of planetary security. Step away from the site. The rebels didn't move. Cale raised her weapon, but Anna stepped forward, unarmed, the shard still glowing. They don't understand, she said. They're still trying to control what they should be remembering. A soldier approached, gun raised. The moment tightened. Then the air behind him shimmered, and something else stepped through. An alien figure, tall and graceful, its form translucent, as if made of refracted light. The soldiers panicked. But Anna raised her hand. The figure stopped. She stepped toward it, and it bowed. She is the bridge, it said. And in that moment Anna realized, this wasn't a war. This was a test. The alien figure guided Anna into the chamber's heart. As they walked, the air grew thick with memory. Visions streamed across the walls, showing the alien civilization that once thrived, and how Earth was chosen not by accident, but by resonance. Humans were not the first intelligent species here. They were the successors, the caretakers, the experiment. Anna's mind burned with the truth. We were made to carry you? She asked. The figure nodded. And to choose acceptance or extinction. Behind them, Cale and the others watched the symbols glow brighter. The core began to open, revealing a swirling energy source, a seed of a new world. But once activated, it could not be undone. Anna turned to Cale. If I finish this, we change forever. Cale met her eyes. Then, let's become what we were meant to be. The military made their move. Explosions tore across the ridge. Resistance fighters fell back, overwhelmed by armored drones. Inside the core, Anna fell to her knees, screaming as the shard in her hand fused into her palm. Her skin shimmered, bones aching as her body shifted to receive the knowledge, the power, the purpose. Outside, Daniel appeared, no longer hiding. No longer human. He fought the drones with alien strength, buying Anna time. This is what I was meant for, he shouted before disappearing in fire. Anna stood, her eyes glowing, her voice layered with tones not her own. No more lies. She touched the core. A shockwave rippled outward, freezing machines, silencing weapons. The soldiers fell still. All life, human and alien, held its breath. And then the planet remembered itself. The world shifted. The core sang a new frequency, one the Earth hadn't heard in millennia. Across the planet, ancient sites lit up, temples, buried structures, forgotten monoliths. A network awoke. The skies parted. Cities lost power. Satellites realigned to frequencies long blocked. Humanity had passed the threshold. Anna emerged from the core, changed. Not fully alien. Not fully human. Something in between. She looked at Kale, then to the sky. "It's not over," she whispered. "It's only beginning." The alien figure nodded. "You have opened a path. Now comes the choice." Behind them, survivors rose. Soldiers dropped their weapons. The battle had ended not in fire, but in memory. The truth had fractured the world. And now, it had to choose what to become. Anna looked to the horizon, where the first light of a new day shimmered. The reckoning was complete. Silence swept across the earth like a tidal wave. The battle was over, but nothing felt victorious. Cities stood still. Governments collapsed into disarray. Communications flickered in and out as ancient systems reactivated, overriding satellites and control networks. Anna walked through the ruins of the last military base that had tried to stop her. No one had survived, by design or by surrender, she couldn't tell. Her presence disrupted reality now. The air warped faintly around her. Every step felt like she was walking between two worlds. She entered the command room. On the walls, screens still looped footage of her, labeled, "Asset classified, threat level unknown." She stared at her own face in silence. She didn't recognize it anymore. "What am I?" she whispered. There was no answer. Only the hum of a dying world trying to reboot itself. "I'm so weak." The world's media fractured into chaos. Some declared Anna a messiah. Others, a weapon. Footage of the core activation spread across every platform, but no one agreed on what had happened. Some believed the aliens were liberators. Others feared a silent takeover. Meanwhile, power grids crashed. Climate shifted. Earth's electromagnetic field began to pulse in unexplainable rhythms. Scientists tried to analyze the data. None of it made sense. A global memory had been awakened, but humanity had no language for it. In a small underground studio, Anna broadcasted a message to the world. This was not an invasion. This was a return. And you have always been part of it. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her voice echoed in layered tones. Across the globe, people fell silent. Something primal inside them stirred. Recognition? Or dread? In cities around the world, monuments changed. Walls grew symbols overnight. Light bent strangely around certain buildings. Trees bloomed out of season. People reported dreams of alien landscapes, of lives they'd never lived. Governments scrambled to contain the hysteria. Martial law was declared in some regions, while others collapsed entirely under the psychological weight of what had been revealed. Anna moved through it all like a ghost. She didn't interfere. She didn't instruct. She observed. Because she knew now, Earth was waking up. Not just politically. Not just socially. Biologically. The planet itself had begun to remember. The core had changed its rhythm. The Earth's pulse beat in time with the stars. Humanity was no longer in control. They never had been. But now, the illusion was gone. Kale led the resistance now, not to fight, but to preserve. She and her scattered network gathered ancient artifacts, protected awakened sites, and helped those who'd been changed. They called themselves the Remnants. Anna visited one of their sanctuaries deep in the Arctic, where light twisted in impossible colors and old machines hummed like prayers. Children, there were already different, eyes brighter, senses sharper. Some could read the symbols naturally. Anna spoke with Kale beside a fire. "The old world is dying," Kale said. "Should we mourn it?" Anna stared into the flames. "No, but we have to remember it, so we don't become the next version of it." In the distance, auroras pulsed in synchronicity with the earth. Change had come. No, but it wasn't conquest. It was metamorphosis. Anna stood alone at the edge of a crater where it all began. The core had quieted now, no longer pulsing but watching. She could feel it beneath her, like a tide waiting to rise again. "You changed everything," Kale had said. But Anna wasn't sure she had changed anything. She had only revealed what had always been hidden. Around her the world had not ended, it had shifted. The old rules no longer applied. She was neither hero nor villain. She was the crack in the surface, the fracture that let the light in. She placed her hand to the earth. A final surge of memory passed through her. Not pain, not vision, just weight. Legacy. Thought. Truth. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. This was never about saving the world, it was about waking it up. Then she walked into the mist. And the earth listened. In the weeks that followed, the earth remained quiet, but it wasn't peace. It was aftermath. Cities rebuilt, but slower. Governments reformed, but more fragmented. People didn't trust each other the way they once did. Truth had been exposed, and with it came doubt too heavy to unsee. Anna watched from the edge, never staying long in one place. She saw humanity trying to adapt, some embracing the memory, others rejecting it violently. All over the world, fragments of alien architecture continued to emerge, dormant for millennia. Now awakened. She stood in the middle of a remote village where children sketched the symbols in dirt without knowing why. "They're remembering," Kale had said. "It's in the blood now." Anna knew the war hadn't been won. It had simply changed shape. And the next battle wouldn't be one of weapons, but of identity. In a deep-sea trench, probes detected something ancient stirring. A pulse. Identical to the one beneath the well. Satellite footage vanished minutes after it was captured. The event wasn't reported, but Anna felt it. As if some part of her had reconnected. She awoke gasping, soaked in sweat, the symbols on her arms glowing faintly again. The earth was not finished revealing itself. It had only just begun. Elias's old words echoed in her mind. "This isn't a planet, it's a memory." Now that memory was unfolding, layer by layer. And what lay beneath even Anna didn't fully understand. She traveled to the coast. The sea was calm. But deep below, something massive stirred, alive, aware, and waiting. Anna whispered to the waves, "You've been asleep long enough." The wind carried no answer. Only silence. And inevitability. The resistance began mapping the global changes, new energy fields, tectonic shifts, atmospheric anomalies. But the deeper they looked, the more they saw. Earth was never what they thought. It had been re-engineered long ago, terraforming not by accident, but by design. Not for aliens. For hybrids. For what came next. Anna walked through an ancient temple unearthed in the Andes, walls lined with star maps and carvings of beings like her, human, but not. She traced the symbols with her fingers. They didn't just speak to her. They belonged to her. This wasn't discovery. This was inheritance. Kale arrived later. "The world's changing faster now," she said. "And they're watching from above." Anna turned toward the night sky. She knew they weren't coming. They were already here. They had never left. And neither had she. Anna stood before a council of Earth's fractured powers, leaders, generals, scientists. They demanded answers. "Who are you?" someone asked. "What do you want from us?" Anna didn't respond at first. She studied their faces, fear behind certainty, control masking confusion. "You were never in charge," she finally said. "You were caretakers of something you didn't understand, but now you have a choice: evolve or repeat." The room fell silent. No one spoke, because deep down they already knew. She wasn't threatening them. She was freeing them, whether they wanted it or not. Outside, the stars began to shift again, forming constellations not seen in any human record. She walked away, the echo of her footsteps like thunder in their minds. The earth didn't belong to humanity anymore. It belonged to its future. The camera pulls back. Anna walks through a field of starlight, each blade of grass illuminated by pulses from the earth below. Her silhouette is quiet, graceful, burdened. Her journey is not over. The voice returns, soft, omnipresent. The truth has a price. Anna pauses. In the sky above, massive shapes move, barely visible against the black, but unmistakable. Vessels, dead. Structures. Cities in orbit. Watching. Waiting. The final reveal lands not with force but gravity. The alien presence on Earth had been only one node in a vast web. This planet is just one of many. And Anna? One of many keys. This is just the beginning, she whispers. Her voice fades into silence as the stars reorient themselves, not randomly, but with purpose. A future rewritten. A cycle restarting. Humanity had awakened. But the universe had only just begun to speak.